It's Good Friday and the weather gods have been kind to Melburnians. On a significant day now firmly etched in the national calendar, shops are closed and business at a standstill. And on arguably the most sacred day of the Christian year, huge crowds have turned out. At the footy? With a strong crowd at the now annual local match between Strathmore and Keilor, sport is one activity that is slowly infiltrating this once protected religious holiday.
It's Good Friday footy.
So the question is, does public support of these events reflect a change in perceptions towards the role of religion and spirituality? In other words, are Australians losing their religion? Well, ABS statistics suggest the number of Australians with no religion is on the rise, and young people are the most likely to report no religion. From 2006 to 2011, the number of young Australians aged between 15 and 24 who reported no religion increased by more than 180,000 people. Andrew Gillies is a young Victorian who falls into the ever-growing category of non-believers.
I never felt a connection to any sort of religious thing. We all go through religious education at school, I think, and at my school I had to go through that till year 9. Just didn't think it was worth listening to, thought it was all rubbish, to be honest.
Although Gillies, who is studying to become a teacher, says that freedom of religious choice is still important in schools.
I think, under the curriculum, it's an entitlement for all students to have, I guess, the awareness of religious education in those studies if they want to go through that process and discover themselves and religion. But personally myself, I wouldn't find myself teaching RE, I wouldn't have thought, but I'll have to go through it. It's part of the job. I think everyone in their job has something they don't enjoy. Not that I'll hate it, but I'll go through the process as a religious teacher if required.
And you don't have to look far to see the historical influence that religion has had on education. This idea that some religious concepts and practices still exist innately in society is one shared by Dan Zoynert from the Latrobe Christian Union.
Just recently with the Australian cricketer Phil Hughes, and in the Test series last summer, you would see all his ex-teammates, whenever they would get to 63 not out or even a century or something, they'd be looking up to the sky, and that they'd be sort of looking up to their mate Phil Hughes, who's now up there.
So despite the change in the number of Australians reporting no religion, maybe what's changing most is society's view on what modern religion actually is. Dr. Sarah James is a sociologist who works as a lecturer at La Trobe University.
People are not nominating that they're affiliating themselves with a particular religion, so they're not putting their hands up and saying, yes, I am a Buddhist. But that doesn't mean that they are not spiritual in any way. And so I think there's a difference between being affiliated with an institutional religion and still practicing religion in some way or being spiritual in some way.
Dr. James says young people are now deriving meaning and motivation from things other than traditional religious beliefs.
But I'm just thinking to a class that I taught last year, and we were talking about religion amongst young people. And all these guys in the room just started talking about how for them going to the gym was the way that they sort of kept themselves on track, that they had this sense of purpose, that if they went to the gym every day, they were doing the right thing. So I guess religion has sort of answered the questions of what should I do with my life? Who am I and what's the good life? What should I be doing? And if you have a really strict eating regime or a fitness regime, that's sort of giving you that structure.
So, in a roundabout way, maybe the punters at the footy on Good Friday can in fact argue, after all, that they were practising their religion in search of their own unique Holy Grail. Dave Kennedy for JMAC.